What up, dog homies and homies? It's your homeboy Grand Tizzle, and we are back for more good things. Welcome back to Epic Beats. Now, check it out, fam. On this session, we're going to be doing this. We're going to be applying the same type of style, but with a different twist to it. We're going to be doing a rock style, fam. Yes, that's right. We're going to be doing a rock. We're going to walk away from the orchestrated and the Maybach and all that type of stuff, and we're going to make this an epic style beat using rock guitars and things like that. So we're going to apply the same techniques that we used for the other sessions, but there's going to be a slight twist to it. We're going to be using guitars and bass and things like that. Now, again, fam, remember I told y'all, remember you learned not to overdo it. So that's one thing we're going to be careful about, because when it comes to rock and things like that, it gets heavy real quick. And you want to keep it nice and clean so that you can have a nice and clean mix, and you want to be able to hear everything. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and lay that down today and apply that style so that we can really drive the point home on how to stack and create these epic style cinematic beats. So with that, without further ado, we're going to move on to the first chapter and go ahead and start laying down the drums. Now, before we start laying down the drums, I do want to say that the melody, again, as in the previous tutorial, the melody is already in my head. It's already locked in the head. So with that being said, fam, with the melody already, the drum pattern and things like that are already here. I'm hearing a I'm hearing that. Now, again, just because I'm hearing it don't mean that it's, fresh. It could be something that I heard before from somewhere else. It's okay. Music can't be reinvented. It can just be reconstructed. So, maybe this is a typical type of drum roll. It's only so many different directions you can go. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's what I hear. So by me hearing that, when we move on to the next chapter, we're going to lay down our drums based on according to what I hear. I hear doom, ta doom, doom, ta ta boom, ta boom, ba. So we're going to do it like that. When I do that or puh, that's the kick. When I do ka ka, that's the snare. So when I'm saying in my head, I'm hearing ta 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 ta. Boom. The dot is the kick, and the ta-ta, that's the snare. And the psh, of course, that's the crash. So anyway, fam, that's the way I hear it in my head. Our attempt is to try to lay it down on track from brain to the plane. Or if that make any sense. All right, let's move on. All right, fam, we're going to lay down our drums. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to lay it down manually. So it's important to put on the snap with the 116, and we're not going to do this one sloppy. I want to keep everything tight on this because it's not about the drum pattern yet. It's going to be about the drum pattern after we get everything, the foundation of the drum rolls rolled in. We're going to start this song off with a drum roll, and then we're going to go to the rhythm. So I'm going to make sure that the quantize and everything is on lock so that we can, stick to a solid 116. So I hear, so we're going to go ahead and lay down our kick right now. All right. So now we lay down now what we're going to do is go back and we're going to lay down the snares the way I hear it in my head. I hear it. That's what I hear. And we're going to use the note repeat for that, fam. Sorry about that. All right, let's move on to the next chapter. Okay, fam, simple enough. We're going to lay down this snare. Now, this snare here was produced and made up inside of Kong. And, there was a few elements that I wanted to add in there, make sure it was tweaked a certain way. Now, when we play it on our pads, I'm going to be using the note repeat as well as the sensitivity on there so that I can get like some velocity. That's the primary reason for it. So let's go ahead and add our snares, and we're going to be using the note repeat to embellish on the drum roll. right, that's it. All right, fam. Let's lay down the crashes. Let's go ahead and add the crashes to it. And back in the day, fam, when I used to do this back in the day, I used to love it. Because that always had the deepest impact. Those crashes, those epic orchestra hits. I mean, I always loved them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when I first heard like pat, 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 I used to always wonder what those was when I first heard the samples, like in the old Run DMC songs, when Jam Master Jay used to pat. Bant, you know, it was always bants, you know what I'm saying? And never knew what the bants was until, you know, later we learned about music, and then, you know, it was, oh, that's an orchestrated hit, and it's just a big hit where everything plays at the same time. And I was always fascinated with that, and I always wanted to learn it and master it. But, you know, when you hear something like that, it always start off really big, but once you really understand what's going on, it actually starts decreasing the bigness. It gets small because you realize, oh, that's just a kick. That's just a kick, a crash, a chime, another little bell, and that's really it. You know, some bass and some other elements. But, you know, I was always fascinated with it. I know this is secular, but anyway, let's go ahead and add our crash, because now this is the primary source, the primary sound of the bigness, all right? So let's go ahead and lay down our crashes. And always use that crash along with every kick, fam. Always use that crash with every kick. Now, sometimes you want to add other elements like, oh, sorry about that. Sometimes you want to use other elements like chimes, and that's what we're going to do right now. So let's do that. All right, fam. It don't work out to your advantage all the time, but it does when you add a chime every now and again to, you know, some of the crashes, and it just kind of add the glistening part that you like to hear. You know, you want to hear extreme lows as well as extreme highs when you're putting together the orchestra hits. So let's go ahead and add our chimes just to add a little bit more glisten to it. All right, and that should do it for that. Now we're going to add a few, just some rad elements, kind of just ratting through, you know, kind of just like some hi-hats, but we're going to manually play that. And you're really not going to hear it once all the other elements is added to it, but, you know, it gives for a real drum pattern. Now, let's go ahead and start laying down our tom-toms. And we're going to cut on our time division. And we'll turn it up to maybe 132. Just a few times. And then we're going to manually play some. All right, fam. Now, I'm hearing the dramatic impact, but without all of the music. But let me start making some sense of this drum pattern right now so that you can actually hear what I've been hearing all along. Let's move on to the first section of laying down guitar strings. All right, fam. There was a sound that I always wanted to use, and I never really had a reason to use it until now. I found it a long time ago. Always wanted to use it. I like the sound because look at how big it is. I mean, it got everything you need to have a, you know, that big, hard, true hard rock sound without actually getting it from the real guitar people. You feel me? So I wanted to use that. I used that down here. Now check this out, fam. This is like the flawless sound to use for this drum roll. Check this out. Check out the drum roll first. Now, before playing the entire thing, just watch the impact when we add the this guitar, this heavy metal guitar along with the crash. You see that? So just that alone, and if we was to add the bass to that, that all alone can be epic. You know what I'm saying? Just the kick, the crash, the chime, this guitar with the sub bass can be very, very impactful. So keep that in mind too. You know what I'm saying? When you're doing other things, it's just the frequencies in that particular guitar really adds to the epicness of that particular pattern. So let's go ahead and add that guitar right now. Sorry, that was a blooper. Let's see. All right. Sorry about that, fam. Keep making a mistake, same mistake. Woo! I'm tired already. Feel like I'm drunk wine and shot some acid and everything. All right, let's move on. Okay, fam. Now this is the part we are waiting on. This is the the most funnest part. It's how it leaves with the most impact. And it adds the absolute dynamic, the most dynamic range to these particular hits. When you add that bass, when you add that bottom to it, along with the kick and the crash and the other higher frequencies, it really pulls everything together. And then from that point, you can just sit and have fun all day long. So with that, we're going to go ahead and add this sub bass. Let's go ahead and lay the sub bass down. But I'm going to let it loop first so you can hear it without it. And then we'll lay down the sub bass. And then you can see the difference and hear the dynamic range and impact that it has now by adding the sub. All right, now let's add the sub, fam. Woo! You feeling me now? You feeling me now? All right, so now you guys get to hear the impact of that particular guitar, in particular that guitar, along with that Amazon bass with those crashes and the kicks. It really sounds epic. You can go anywhere from this point, anywhere you want. And as long as you continue to come back to that, it's going to always have that dynamic impact. You cannot lose with that epic sound. Let's move on. All right, fam, now, you know what? This is where it really gets crazy right here, right? You got to take a break before you lay this one down, because when you lay this one down, when you lay this part down, it gets bananas. Mad bananas, B. All right, check it out, fam. We got the heavy guitar. Now, this is another guitar sound. Kind of want to cut through. What I want to do, fam, is add some extra color. Let me play it for you real quick. We're going to add some extra color to it. Now, what I want to do is add some color to that. I want to add a whine. You feel me? Now, it's already grimy and gritty, but we need a baby crying back there, like a passionate baby. You know, a baby with black spiked hair and chain, you know, like spiky bracelets around the, spiked bracelets on with silver blades and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? Spud from Bugs Bunny. Y'all have no clue what I'm talking about. You know why? Because I have no clue what I'm talking about. I'm just blabbing on. So check it out, fam. This is what we're going to add to it. Listen. I'm going to let it loop first. Now, here's the color. This is the color we want to add. Yeah, you feel me? So we're saying... That makes it big and large and mad crazy. So let's go ahead and lay that down, y'all. That's mad wicked. That's mad wicked. Let's move on. You know, I'm not a rock guitar player, right? But there's a note, a key that the rockers play in. And again, I'm not a rock player. I don't listen to a whole lot of rock. I get it, you know what I mean? But I do know music. But there's this key that they play. And it's kind of almost like when they solo, they go into this Egyptian melody, and it always have intrigued me. It always have. So I decided to do that here. Now we're gonna call this the sister. This is the sister crying. We got the baby boy crying, but now we're going to apply the sister. The sister is gonna add harmony to the boy crying, right? So here we have it. We got the bass guitar, and then we have the solo of the boy crying. Now we're going to have the solo of the sister crying. And we're going to couple that. But let's play it real quick so that you can get an idea of what's going to jump off. Sorry. You hear that? And I like that. That part right there, this. It's a da-da-da, you know, it's like da-da-da, da-da-da, you know, like the Arabian sound. I've always liked that. So anyway, that's the sister part, and that adds harmony to it. That adds, you know, it's like a chord to it, and it just sounds good, but it really, really polishes off the effect. And then we're going to come back and we're going to add some strings and stuff like that. But let's lay this down so we can have that full. Yeah! That's right, rock and roll, baby. Let the blood pressure rise. All right, fam, we got the foundation down. We got all the elements added to it so that we can have the dynamic intro. Now what we're going to do is add some strings to it. We're going to use the big strings here because it's short. And I'm going to use it as a build-up. You know, something that's going to sound like it's going to lead to something else dynamic. So with that, let's go ahead and add that, lay that down, and this would help it to build up some drama, build up some suspense, something that's going to help us to lead off into the next dynamic event. go. And there you have it. All right, fam. Sounds like things have come along pretty good. We came a long way from just a kick and a crash and a chime, right? Let's listen to it again. It's really dynamic, very dynamic, and we only put just a small few elements to it. Let's listen to it one more time before we move on. You see how impactful that is with just a few elements added to it. And it's not necessarily the elements where it is, but it's the way it's been played. It's how it's been stacked that give it the illusion of that bigness. So we have a big, gigantic, epic intro, and it's just, honestly, realistically, just a few sounds added to it. So just to understand how these dynamics are put together can really help you along with your own production. All right, now there's one more sound that I want to add to this before we close this chapter out, and then we're going to move on to another tutorial, and I'm going to show you the beat that was made that attached along to that, and then I'm going to give you guys the music video that we shot to it. All right, fam, there's only one more element that I want to add to this. And the reason why I want to add this element is because the dynamics in this particular crash adds to the illusion of the entire fullness. If that makes any sense to you. It's a dynamic that adds to the illusion of the entire fullness. You get it? I don't, but anyway. It sounds like I'm saying something right. But anyway, it's this crash right here. It's a very broad crash. Have a long tail. And it really, really helps uplift and majestify the the crashes and things like that. I mean the toms, the intro. Anyway, I like to use these. I like the reverb that's used in it, and of course I could use these other elements, but we don't want to over muddy it. But anyway, I want to add that to it, and that's going to complete the intro of this, the dynamic intro. And you can use this technique to, apply it to your own styles and things like that. Come up with some dynamic tracks, dynamic music, big epic beats, you know what I'm saying? And, so that you can get a general idea of what can go on with this. I'm going to let you listen to what we did with it and let you watch the video. But let's lay this down first. And we're just going to add the crash along with all of the other crashes just to kind of, just to add more impact. That's it, fam. That's it. That wraps it up for this particular session. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to another tutorial, and we're going to produce a track, based on this intro. I wanted to keep these things separate because I wanted to drive the point home of how to make dynamic intros or, drum rolls and things like that. Very simple technique, very simple styles, very simple things applied, but you can really, truly get very large, very dynamic results from applying that technique, all right? So now we're going to move on to the next chapter or the next tutorial, and I'm going to show you the drum patterns, things like that we put together, and then we're going to bounce back and forth from the intro to the drums, to the intro, to the drums, to the intro, to the drums. And it's going to be really amazing. All right, fam. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you benefited from that particular session. Now let's move on gracefully on to the next. I'll see you over there, and I'll see you in a minute, and I'll see you when I spin it. Spin it. Yeah, boy. See ya.